On today's Town Hall, we have shout-outs, important upcoming dates and reminders about the weekly portfolio tasks and attendance, and we're going to have breakout sessions for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students about the high school application process and what you should be doing now to prepare for it. Shout out to Ms. Oliveri for recording the videos for this week's Town Hall sessions. Thank you, and shout out to all of you students who have completed both your MyOn and iReady assessments. You rock! We want to wish a very happy birthday this week to Nazib Amin, Jordan Burden, Sienna Collins, Jessica Gale, Ashton Henderson, and Dolta Schuler. Happy birthday, everyone. Some important upcoming dates to remind you about. The Blended Learning opt-in window opens on November 2nd. You can find the information for that on our website and on the DOE's website. Election Day is next Tuesday, November 3rd. That is a fully remote day for all students, so Group B students, you will not report to the building next Tuesday. Everyone is expected to engage in their work online on that day. Students, you'll be assigned a Math Matters assessment to take by your math teachers. More information on how to do that work will be on your Math Google Classroom pages, but everyone is expected to get that assessment done on Tuesday, November 3rd. The marking period closes Friday, November 6th. Veterans Day. There is no school on Wednesday, November 11th in honor of Veterans Day. The Blended Learning opt-in window closes on November 15th, and parent-teacher conferences will be held virtually on Thursday, November 18th. We have a system for parents to sign up for virtual appointments with each teacher. We'll be talking about that in a coming town hall. So a reminder that all families, whether you are in blended or fully remote learning, should be completing the Blue Card, the COVID-19 testing forms, the media release form, and lunch form. The Blue Card, the testing forms, and the media release form can be completed online via Operoo. If you need your login information for Operoo, it was emailed to the email we have on file, but you can also call the main office, or you can contact Ms. Petrata in the main office, Jen Petrata, JPETROTTA at brooklynsea.org, and they'll get you set up. Lunch forms can be completed online. All of those links are on our website. All right, so I want to talk briefly about attendance. We know that in the past, in the spring, you guys could basically do any sort of interaction and it counted as attendance. They were calling it interaction and not attendance. But that policy has changed and there's still some confusion around this. So let me hopefully clarify some of this. So in the spring, you could communicate with teachers, your parents could communicate with teachers, you could turn in work, you could join the live meets, you could do the attendance form, you could submit work at 2 a.m. or 8 a.m. or 8 p.m., and all of that counted for attendance. It does not count for attendance anymore. It doesn't work like that. So because we are having regular school days and you have pretty much full instructional programs on whether you're remote or in person, you need to be present during that time. Attendance is being present. So if your teachers are hosting live meets or Zooms, which everybody has live meets and Zooms every single day, you should be attending those. We know that the beginning 20 minutes of each period is when teachers are hosting those meets and those Zooms, so you need to be on at the start of every period. So if you are following your schedule, you should see that, okay, I have ELA first period, then I need to go to my ELA Google Classroom, and there's a link posted for that meet or that Zoom there. They might also post other links. I know teachers using other programs, Nearpod, other things. Okay, so you need to make sure that you are in all of those. When teachers are taking attendance, whether they do it verbally, whether they do it by you writing in the chat, they post a question, you need to make sure that you are answering that question or you're engaging in that. We have a lot of students that are saying that they are joining meets, but they're not being counted as present. It might be because they missed the beginning of the meet. Okay, they only came in for 3 minutes in the middle of it. That happens. Okay, you won't get credit for the attendance if you come in for 3 minutes in the middle of it, because the teachers aren't taking attendance constantly throughout the entire time. Okay, so please make sure that you are following your schedule, that you follow the bell schedule, which has the synchronous time. That's the time that teachers are live on it. Okay, if you have questions about that, please do reach out. We do have another video Ms. D put together in a previous town hall that you can access on our YouTube channel or on the website if you want to see the schedule walk through. But please please log into your Meets and your Zooms, because teachers are taking attendance every single period that they have live instruction. We are also asking you to complete the attendance form. It is posted in your class of 2021, 2022, or 2023 Google Classroom every single morning. It's posted as an assignment. Most of you are completing that every day, so thank you for doing that. Please continue to do so. This attendance form is not a, okay, I'm filling out this form and I'm good for the day, so I don't have to do anything else. Okay, that's not how this works. It's a backup. All right, so if you are logging into Meets, sometimes we miss things. Sometimes, you know, if you log in after the attendance is taken, but you were still there for 20 minutes, we can miss that. All right, so this attendance form serves as a backup to let us know that you were present in that day, okay, but it is not where we go to first. All right, so your attendance is based off of you attending your classes. If you're not attending your classes, you're not going to know what to do on those weekly benchmark tasks, and you're not going to do well, and you're not going to earn the grade that you should be earning, or that you would expect to earn, or that your parents would expect you to earn. So please make sure that you are on for that live instruction so you know what's going on every single day. Regarding the attendance form, I just want to show you really quickly. This is what's posted in your Google Classroom every day. Okay, there's a drop-down menu. You choose your name. There's a drop-down menu for your class. You choose your class. It does record your email. Okay, so you can't submit attendance for somebody else. All right, so please make sure that you are doing what you are supposed to be doing, okay, and doing your attendance every single day. Thank you. The other thing I wanted to speak about was our assessments. Okay. You've already been assigned 3 assessments. There's an iReady ELA, an iReady Math, and a MyOn Reader assessment. Okay, those are assessments. They don't impact your grade, but they do impact your instruction, and they're how we monitor our progress and we adjust things in our building. So it is very important that you, one, make sure that you complete them, and you complete them in a timely fashion. If you have started the iReady test or the MyOn test and you haven't finished it, it will reset and you'll have to start over from the beginning. So you need to finish it. If you are assigned these things, you need to make sure they are done by the due date. You're given plenty of time. There's a huge window for them. Okay, but some of you have not even started them. All of your iReady and MyOn Reader information was emailed to you at the beginning of the month. So you need to make sure that you are completing these. If you have questions, you can reach out to any one of your teachers or your crew teacher or me, and we can make sure that you get your correct login information. It's very important that you take these assessments seriously. I know it's hard sometimes when you're working on a computer to not just click the buttons and choose answers, okay, but that's not going to give you valid test results. It's also not going to give you valid test results if somebody else is helping you, or if you're looking up answers to things somehow, which you shouldn't be able to do on either iReady or MyOn. But okay, please make sure that you are doing the assessments ethically, you're doing them to the best of your ability, because those assessments don't impact your grade. They do impact how we adjust our instruction. Okay, so it's very, very important that you do well on them. Not that you do well, but you do your best on them, rather. Math Matters. The Math Matters assessment is the same thing. Okay, that's going to determine how you get reteach material, what things you get focused on. That's going to be administered next Tuesday, the first one. So please make sure that you are doing your best on that and you're completing it on time. Your math teachers will be posting that, and you'll have time to do it during that day. So please make sure it's done. The last thing we want to talk about is the weekly benchmark tasks. These are the portfolio tasks that your teachers are posting every single week. You have an entire block of time on Fridays to work on these tasks, so you should be able to get them done. If you don't get them done within that block of time, you do need to finish them, okay, before Monday, so that way your teachers can make sure that they are graded, you can get feedback, and they can adjust their instruction accordingly. And the weekly benchmark tasks are what your grades are based on. More on that, we're going to go to Ms. D.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. I hope everyone's having a great day so far. I'm here to talk to you all today about our weekly portfolio tasks. Those weekly portfolio tasks are how you are getting a grade. So please make sure that you are completing those tasks. I want to show you how you can find them. So if you go to our website, www.brooklynsea.org, you will be able to find our weekly portfolio tasks. Plus, your teachers are talking to you about them in class. So if you go to our website and you look here at the top, you'll see 2020 school year. If you are a student who's in blended learning, this tab relates to you. If you're a student in remote learning, this tab relates to you. So you can click either one of them because students who are in blended and or remote all have the same tasks that they need to complete. So if you scroll to the bottom and you click weekly portfolio tasks, you will be able to see each class and each grade. So if you're in seventh grade art, your weekly portfolio tasks are listed here. You need to complete those tasks because your teachers are generating a grade for you for each trimester based on how you do on these tasks. So you need to show up to your classes, you need to complete the work, but make sure that these weekly portfolio tasks are completed because that's how you're getting your score. There's going to be no mystery on where scores come from. So if you're in eighth grade ELA, you would click on the eighth grade ELA tab and you would look and see here are all of the portfolio tasks that you would need to do. It's very important you get them done. If you have a question, if you're not sure if you've completed these tasks, please, please, please talk to your teacher. Your teacher will know if you've completed them, if you need to redo it for any reason. Do not just let the time pass. Take an active role, take charge of your education, and check out the weekly portfolio tasks. You can look in Google Classroom as well to see if you've done them. Guys, have a great day. Do not hesitate to reach out to us if you need anything at all, and stay in communication with your teachers. Have a good one.
So one of the big questions that we have this year that families have had that we've been asking is about high school and what the application process is going to look like this year. We know that there was no state test in the spring for students that were in 7th grade who are now 8th graders. And even grades, we had grade codes in the spring. We didn't have grade point averages in the spring. So the general overall high school application process is going to have to look different. We have a lot of questions about what that means and what that looks like. But we don't have a lot of answers yet from the city either. So thank you for being patient, and as soon as we get any more information, we will share it with you. For now, we have some tailored breakout sessions provided by Ms. Oliveri, our guidance counselor, for 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade students on the high school application process in general, what it normally looks like, and just things that you should be considering, even though we have a lot of questions right now. So thank you, Ms. Oliveri.
Hi everyone, I'm Miss Oliveri from Brooklyn Science and Engineering Academy. Today we're going to talk a little bit about what the 8th grade admission process looks like for 2020. So things are a little different this year, obviously. It's almost the end of October and we have not gotten started, but don't worry, it's not just you, it's everyone across the city. So there's nothing much you can do right now. We're just going to explain the process in the upcoming weeks and months of what to expect and what you should be doing now. So we're going to be getting started. Here we go. So pretty much in the next few slides, we are going to be talking about high school admissions overview and timeline, specialized high schools, high school directory and admission guide, exploring schools and programs, how to create your account online, and what welcome letters are. And then we'll also go over some next steps and some COVID updates. English language learners, or students that are called ELs for short, are students who are English language learners, new to the city, new to the country, and they're able to apply to any New York City high school. All high schools must be able to provide EL services for students. And there are 3 different types of EL delivery models offered in New York City public high schools. EL students are eligible for support and accommodations on admission-related tests and auditions. So any high school that has an audition or a test and your child is an EL, you are able to get them extra accommodation based on their EL eligibility. There are also some schools that are designed specifically for EL students. based on either their home language, the number of years in their country, and on their English proficiency. When you browse the directory, you might come across some of them, and that is specific for ELS students. Okay, students with disabilities. Students with disabilities have IEPs, and they're able to apply to any New York City program and all high schools. All high schools must be able to provide the services for those students. On each school page, you'll be able to find each program's SWD availability last year and their accessibility. Their accessibility is pretty much if the student requires access to an elevator or ramp. More physical mobility is when they talk about accessibility. For high school admission, seats are divided into two types. There is your general education seats, and those are students who, are general education, with or without an IEP. And when we talk about general education seats with an IEP, are students who receive 20% or less of special education in their IEP. Then we move on to the next column where it explains students with disability seats. And those are for students who have a little bit more special education programming in their IEP. So it's students more or less with an ICT program or a special class. Those students will apply into the SWD seats for high school applications. How do you participate in high school admissions? So there's two paths. The red column is definitely required. All students in New York City must submit a high school application. There are over 700 programs in 4 different high schools. And remember, you're applying to the program in the high school. So you can have multiple programs listed in one high school, and that is okay. Early fall, typically, we would have started our round 1 application. You would have received it already, and we would have been in the midst of going to open houses under normal circumstances. Typically in March, you would have received your offer. Everything may be a little bit delayed due to COVID-19. The optional method is your blue, is highlighted in blue. Those are your specialized high schools. There are 8 testing schools and 1 audition school for your specialized high school. Again, what we would have done is you would have registered for the Shazat test or the audition. You would have taken the Shazat test or have gone to the audition, and we would have been in that midst right now, considering it's late fall. And March, you would have gotten 1 offer when you passed the Shazat test, or if you would have passed the audition, you would have gotten 1 to 6 offers. Okay. Now, it's important to remember that you have to do the New York City high school application, but the optional route is the specialized high schools. You cannot do the specialized high school alone. You are required to either do both or at least just the required high school application. What are the specialized high schools? Remember, there are 8 testing schools. You have to get past the specialized high school test in order to gain admission into these schools. In Brooklyn, we have the Brooklyn Latin School and Brooklyn Technical. In Manhattan, it's Stuyvesant, or the High School for Math, Science, and Engineering at City College. Queens, High School for Sciences. In the Bronx, we have Bronx Hall of Science and High School of American Studies. Staten Island, we have Staten Island Technical. The other school in Manhattan that is an audition school is LaGuardia. So preparing for the Shazat. Right now, we're all in the process of still preparing, still studying. So students, if you hear me, please, this is the time to really make sure that you understand what you're doing. Taking the Shazat practice test that you got in the books or online, or if you're able to do them virtually, that's what we should be doing now. The test dates and locations that were listed in page 4 and 5 of last year's admission are no longer. That all has been delayed until I give you more information as it becomes available to me. I will let you know. Right now, all you should be doing is practicing, getting to know the specialized high schools, And when you're practicing, it's really important that when you're taking those practice tests, you do it within the 180 minutes. And those are for students without any accommodations. Students with accommodations, so L, and students with SWDs are allowed to take the test in 360 minutes. And that is 6 hours, and with 2 15-minute breaks. Okay. What you do is you put your final answers on the answer sheet that they give you, the bubble sheet. And also on that sheet, you will have to list your specialized high schools in the order of your preference. If you do not want to go traveling to the Bronx, you do not have to list it onto your application. Okay. Only list the schools in the order that you like and the ones that you're interested. That is it. So how do you prepare for the LaGuardia High School audition? Practice. Auditions are different for each studio. Remember, for LaGuardia, you are allowed to audition for multiple studios: vocal, instrumental music, visual arts. All those are different auditions. So right now is the time to be practicing. And for more information and specific into what those auditions are looking for, you can go onto laguardiahighschool.org. And you can review those audition dates and times if they are listed. They may not be just yet. Like I said, everything is delayed due to COVID. English language learners or students with IEPs, 504s, you will see me and we can work on what those accommodations are for you in your LaGuardia High School audition. On audition day, please remember to bring snack and water. They may be doing it virtually this year where you might have to record yourself. Like I said, once information becomes more available to me, I will let you know. Right now, the entire city is delayed. What happens after you audition for LaGuardia? So LaGuardia staff evaluates each student who auditions. So they look at your audition, whatever type that might be, recording yourself or going there. They want to see what you do and how you do it, the best way you do it. They look at your school record. They look at your 7th grade and your state scores. Again, that may be a little bit different this year due to COVID. And typically when you have gone to LaGuardia, what they do is while you're waiting for your audition, they have you complete a written response. Once that is done, that is what they look for. And those are the 3 things that they assess you on. What happens after you take the specialized high school test? So your answer sheets are scored. Your offers are determined on how well you do and the order in which you list the schools on your answer sheet and the number of seats the school has available. For example, if there are 100 seats at Brooklyn Latin and you list them as number 1 and you did the top 100, you will get a spot. If you scored 101, but they don't have any availability, you do not get the spot. Okay. Testing for specialized high schools do not review the students' state scores, grades, or attendance. They do not necessarily look at what you did in 7th grade, 8th grade. They don't look for it. And it's also I'm going to say this at this point, it's also to remember while 7th grade scores are important for admission purposes, 8th grade scores are equally as important because although you have a spot reserved, you are not in that spot. So we want to make sure you're sitting there. So 8th grade is equally as important as 7th grade. This is, again, how do you participate in the high school admissions, the required and the optional method. Something to consider is in March or whenever those offers come out now, you will only be getting 1 offer from the required option. The optional method is 1 offer for the Shazat, and the only time you'll get multiple offers are for your audition to LaGuardia. Round 1 applications explore schools and programs. So there's 700 programs at 400 different schools. That means there's more programs in the same school. You can apply to multiple programs in 1 school. In fact, that's actually suggested because if you like a school and you like the location, I would strongly suggest that you apply to multiple programs because there's always some opportunity for you to move around once you're in the school of your choice. Right now, what we're doing is we're just exploring programs in my schools, and we'll get into how to do that in a little bit. You're looking through your admission guide. You're selecting about 20 to 30 programs that interest you. As conversations go on, now is the time to have conversations with your family, your friends. Start looking at the geographical areas and narrowing that list down to 12 program choices. We want to make sure you have 12 so you can actually have a school that you enjoy going to. And the other big thing is you do not list your specialized high schools on your application. That, remember, is a different application process. So how do you explore the schools? In my schools, you could do that online if you don't have the directory, or, you know, it might be easier for you to do. Everything is done online, and eventually you will be completing your application on the same website. So this website is myschools.nyc. What you could do is choose your preferred languages for students whose families do not speak English. At the top left right-hand corner where it says English, you just click that and select the language of your choice. Okay, you go and you view the searchable online directory. You go to My Schools, you scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you click on Start Browsing. Once you're there, you can use the search box to enter your address. Once you enter your address, you can narrow your search by what subway lines, how big the school is, the types of sports you may be interested, and some other criteria that might be important to you and your family. But it is important for you to start looking at the schools and what they have to offer. So now, once you're in the school, you'll see the schools that are closest to your address. You can see the location, the size, the schedule, how well the school is, the academics, the activities, and the accessibility, if that is of relevance to you and your family. Types of schools to consider are your performing and visual arts, your career and technical education schools, your schools for newly arrived students who are learning English. Those are those schools we spoke a little bit earlier about, those L schools, your performance assessment schools, early college, schools with grades 9 to 14, and your community schools. Right now, you should start learning more about which programs and what they offer and what they do and things, you know, of concerning. So you see, there are several STEAM programs, but then there's specific types of STEAM. There's STEAM performing arts, STEAM robotics. Those are different types of programs you can apply to. You can apply to one, you can apply to all of them. Remember, what we're looking at is the school and its convenience for you and your family, in addition to then the programs that they have. So what you can do is browse through those, and when you click on it, it gives you several, a little bit more specific information about the program, what you need to get into the program, the eligibility, and what they look for the admission method. We're going to get into a little bit more in a few slides of the different admission methods that they look for. So this is a little bit about what we spoke about before. This program is an ed-opt, which basically means they look at your state scores. Now, last year, because there wasn't a state scores, things may look a little bit different this year. And once that information becomes available to myself, I will let you know. The other important thing to look for is your priority group. Obviously, some schools look for Brooklyn students. Maybe some schools look for District 18 students. You want to always be in the #1 priority group because that gives you preference. And to the other side where it says your demand last year, it shows you basically how many people were applying for that one spot. So that goes a little bit about what we were talking about in a couple of slides previously, your general education seats versus your SWD seats. Admission methods. Programs that do not see your applicant school record, they do not see your 7th grade record, are schools that are open admission, screened for your language, schools that have a zoned program. All they do, schools that are open means anyone can apply based on your priority. Schools that are screened for language, look at your language, if you're an L or not. Schools that are zoned only look on where you live. And your specialized high school test looks at only how well you did on their test. Programs that do see your applicant's record are schools that are screened, audition schools, or ed-op schools. Programs with screened and audition admission methods pretty much works on a ranking system. Your selection criteria show the information used to evaluate applicants for admission. So you'll see what they look for. And we want to make sure that you're in the most competitive, that your 7th grade scores meet somewhere in the middle of what they're looking for. We want to make sure that you're competitive. We want to make sure that you have the opportunity when you list the school on your application that you're actually going to be considered. What makes a balanced application? We want you to have 12 programs. The more programs you have that are of your choice, the more of a chance that you will get into the school of your choice. Not just high demand programs, not only just screened or not schools that are super competitive. We want to have a few of everything. Mixed admissions method. You want some open, some screened, some auditions, a few of each to make sure that you have opportunity to get into what you want. And we want to make sure you're in the first priority group for the programs. The other super important thing is only apply to programs you want to go into, you want your child to go into. Often, more than not, we have people who just put programs and then realize, oh, maybe it's a little too far. Oh, I'm not really into, what they have to offer. So it's really important for you to put schools that you are comfortable going to and schools that are of interest to you. Okay. So program choices on your applications. 98% of students who listed 12 programs received an offer to a choice on your application. Listing 12 programs mean you'll have a better chance of getting an offer from one of your choices, as long as they're mixed methods and that you qualify for. Listing the program in your true order of preference, starting with your top choice. High schools cannot see where you rank them on your application. So if you put Brooklyn College Academy #1, but you don't get into it, Midwood would not say, oh, well, you listed me as #3. You're not going to get in because I'm #3. They will still see you as you listing them as your #1 choice. Okay. So students are considered for offers in their order of programs on your application. If you don't get into your first choice, then you're considered for your next choice. It's as though the next choice is your new first choice. Again, in March, you'll get one offer for your regular application process. In the optional specialized high schools, you'll either get one offer for your Shazat or 1 to 6 offers if you audition for LaGuardia. How to create an account in My Schools. So where you started your browsing, you're going to actually get started now to create your account. You'll have to enter your name, your email address, and choose your My Schools password and click next. It's really, really, really important that keep everything lowercase or uppercase, keep everything the same, because that does matter when you have to log in the next time. You may forget, and sometimes the capitalization does matter. At this point, we had a lot of issues with that at one point. So just make sure it's something that is easily remembered and you won't forget. So you'll send that in. They'll send you a confirmation email. You'll have to click the link. This is what comes up in your email. You click the link to confirm. Then it's going to prompt you to enter some more information, your phone number, your mailing address, your preferred language, and you'll select submit. Once you select submit, you have created your account, but you still have to add the child. You'll add your child by clicking the plus button where it says add a child. Okay. And what happens now is, again, that would have been sent to you, but it is delayed due to COVID-19. The My School system is not updated just yet. But when it does get updated, the Office of Student Enrollment will send you to your home address that we have on record. They'll automatically send you a welcome letter. And on that welcome letter, it's going to have your account creation code and instructions on how to get started in My Schools. It's going to kind of repeat everything that I'm about to say on a piece of paper for you. If you need an additional creation code, if you need any information, you can always contact myself. I'll have my information in a few slides later on for you to contact me for extra assistance. Okay. So right now we're still in the summer fall, even though we're almost late fall. It's exploring the schools and programs in My Schools, 20 to 30 programs that interest you. Early fall, the next process is you're going to create your account in My Schools and add your child's. You'll receive instructions in the mail and from myself. You're going to register for the specialized high school test or the LaGuardia auditions. Right now is the time to also start looking for high school events. A really fantastic tool that the DOE has is the high school event calendar. And what that does is all the schools put their virtual open houses and on that, and you can attend virtually. But you'll get notifications on your phone. Once you download the calendar to your phone, you'll see when that information becomes available. Also now, since we're starting to look for schools and thinking about the schools, those 20 to 30 schools, what a fantastic idea would be to look at their website, search for not only their open house information, but what they have, what they look for you to get into. Visit the schools virtually, even if it's just looking at their website, making sure that you feel comfortable, that you like what they have, you like their website. And attending any auditions or program-specific assessments, but more information on that will come out once it becomes available to me. I will share it with you. Next couple steps, once the process actually does open, you'll be taking your specialized high school test or audition for LaGuardia High School. And again, that is optional. You'll complete any auditions or program-specific assessments. School may require a portfolio. You'll have to, get some work to put everything in, and we'll give it to the high school. And at the end, what you'll do is just submit your child's high school application in My Schools, and that deadline is to be determined. Some COVID-19 updates. I'm just going to reiterate some things that I said throughout the presentation. Look for notifications on Scheduler, Pupil Path for myself regarding virtual open houses. As I become aware of them, I do put the information out there. All applications, Shazad, and high school admissions are delayed until further notice. All auditions are delayed until further notice. Open houses and fairs are conducted virtually unless otherwise noted. Some resources. My information is listed at the bottom. Diana Oliveri, doliveri@brooklynnc.org, and the school's phone number. If you need to get in contact with me, that would be the best number you can reach me at. And some more resources. And I want to thank you all so much for taking the time to listen to the 8th grade 2020 high school admission process. We're all in this together. I'm here to support you to the best of my ability. Once the information does become available and once the process does open, you will be hearing a lot more from me on how we can get through this together. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Oliveri, for that information. Again, families, we still have a lot of questions about the process. The city has not opened the portal, the My Schools portal, that students is usually open at this point. They have not set the December deadline for the process like they normally do, so that's still up in the air. The SHSAT assessment that is normally scheduled for the beginning of November has also been canceled for the time being. They haven't rescheduled that yet. So as soon as we have any information about changes to the process, we will be sure to let you know. Students, in the meantime, the best thing that you can do is make sure that you are present every single day in school, that your attendance rates stay high, whether you're in 8th grade or 7th grade or 6th grade for that matter, and that you are earning the grades that you need to earn by completing your weekly portfolio task. That's the best we can ask of you right now, is to make sure that you are doing everything that you can to maintain your academic standing. And then the high school application process will be the same for everyone in the city, and so everyone's in the same boat. Again, we'll provide you with more information on that as soon as we have it. In the meantime, thank you for watching today. I hope everyone has a safe and happy Halloween. If you need some tips for how to stay safe and go trick-or-treating, you can find those on our website from a DOE letter. Other than that, have a wonderful weekend. Thank you.